So I'm spending a little bit of time with the 700. I haven't even driven this down the road yet since I pulled it out of winter storage a couple months ago now. I've decided to get the wheels off, dismount the tires, and get them to my friend Ashley Lucier, who owns a powder coating business here in my town. And I've decided to go with a super chrome powder coat on them. I'd rather not chrome plate them, and they are just basically painted silver at the moment. And yeah, I'm going to go with a chrome. I think I'm pretty excited about that. I toiled over building some vintage OZ MSW 3-piece 15-inch wheels for this car for quite a while, and I was working on this zero lip setup. They're a 30-hole wheel, and I machined some 30-hole spacers to space the face away. I made them a face mount wheel, so it would be face, lip, then barrel. I was working with 2 lips, front and rear. The fronts right now are a 15 by 4, and the rears are a 15 by 5.5. And we never tubbed the rear end on the Beetle pan underneath this body. So with 800 to like 900 hours invested in this car with my father in the course of about 3 months, the last thing I wanted to do when we got it done was to tub the rear, cut the axles, control arms, trailing arms. The torsion rod tube in the back that the trailing arms mount to would have to be shortened as well. And it was just like a pretty big task after kind of exhausting ourselves on this car for 3 months. So the rear is stock Volkswagen Beetle track width in the back. I'm running a 2-inch narrowed beam up front. I would like to run a 4 or even 6-inch narrowed beam up front, but the 2-inch narrowed beam still has the shock towers on it, and we built a tubular chassis inside the body to give the body rigidity in order to mount to the shortened Beetle pan underneath the car. If you guys don't know too much about this car or didn't follow the progress of the build on Instagram, this car is sitting on a late 60s independent rear suspension ball joint front end Volkswagen Beetle pan, full drivetrain pan that we shortened by about 13 inches to meet the wheelbase of the 700. And then, since the body was so rotted when we pulled it out of basically not really a swamp, but we pulled it out of the woods, there was nothing left of the undercarriage of the car or some of the structure inside the body. So we basically built the tubular chassis inside the body to basically utilize the body mounts for the pan. So the body is actually now a removable body. Not as easily as a Beetle, but it's a 2-part car now. So if the body had to come off, it could. So after fighting for quite a while to get that 3-piece set of wheels working, the material on the face itself just poked too far out, and I didn't have enough material to work with to mill enough off the back of the face mount of the face in order to get the wheels to still be safe and fit underneath the car. So what we do with the steel wheels in order to get them to fit underneath the narrow body of the BMW is we used my dad's brake lathe, because we don't have a lathe here at my dad's shop. We put a bit in the brake lathe and actually cut the welds out of the steel wheels that hold the centers to the rims basically of the wheel, and move the faces out to create a higher offset wheel so the rim and tire could fit underneath the car, and obviously the face would be sticking out near where the drums are. So as you guys can see here, we moved the faces out and re-welded them. We moved the rear faces out that far, and the front faces we moved probably about 1/2 inch, 5/8 maybe, and re-welded that up as well. We actually used the wheel balancer as a truing stand, so we were able to get the high point taken out and the wide spot taken out, so it didn't have a side-to-side sway either. And once we got that dialed in, we finished welding it up, put it on the balancer once more, and mounted tires up. And the craziest thing of the whole deal is once I mounted tires up and we got it on the car, I started driving it and I forgot to balance the wheels and tires, forgot to balance them all together, and started driving it and realized that from a slow speed all the way up to maximum speed in this car, which is like 60 miles an hour, there were no shimmies in the wheels and the tires at all. No shimmies at all, which is pretty crazy because we cut the wheels apart and re-welded them and then mounted tires, and there's not a shimmy coming from the front or back anywhere in the car. So that was a victory in itself. So before I mounted the tires up, when they actually ended up staying on the wheels, I didn't actually pull measurement as to what the actual back spacing was. We just moved one face out, tack welded it, fit it on the car, got it to where the offset was right, welded it up, and then used that measurement to do the other side so they were uniform. And I never measured them because once we got them welded up, I painted them, put the tires on so we could ultimately work on suspension and get the body to like lay out, and we'd know if the tires would hit anything up in the body. So at that point, I didn't even take the tires back off. I just started driving the car. And so now that the tires are coming back off, I'll have an opportunity to measure them and actually get a proper offset. So I've got the first tire dismounted. This is one of the fronts. This is a 15 by 4. It was actually difficult to get the 165/45 to fold out and actually seat. Once I got the tire mounted, the 165 is actually almost too wide for the wheel, naturally. And the beads were folded right underneath, and we actually had to get the tire with pressure in it because it would hold air, put about 60 psi in it, and set it in front of a propane powered space heater and just let it cook until the rubber got soft enough and the bead snapped out and actually hit the seat of the wheel. So it was kind of a task to get them seated properly. I'm actually pretty excited about this myself because I haven't measured this yet. So it's hard to see in the video, but it's about 4 5/8 back spacing. So 4.625 back spacing on a 4-inch wide wheel. That's, some number crunchers will have to do this for me. I think it's a +66 to +67 offset. And that's more modest than I was expecting. I was expecting some really crazy numbers, but I've actually just calculated it on my phone with that back spacing, and yeah, it's about a +67 offset. So it's a 15 by 4 +67 in the front of my 700, custom 2-piece steel wheels. That's why it was incredibly difficult to build a 3-piece aluminum wheel with those offsets. So just got one of the rears off, 15 by 5.5, and let's see what we got here. So we've got about 5 13/16 inch back spacing on a 5.5 inch wide wheel. So that's 5.8125, and that is a +65, just over, but about a +65 offset on this wheel. So it's actually pretty cool that the front is 15 by 4 +66.5. I mean, it's like 67 basically. So 15 by 4 +67, and these rears are 15 on 5.5, about +65. So they're within 2 mil, technically like 1.5 mil off from each other as far as offsets are concerned. So that's actually pretty cool that they're kind of close in offsets. So I'm going to get the last two dismounted, clean them up a little bit, and drop them off at Ashley's shop tomorrow morning for chem strip, and then she'll sandblast them lightly after that, and put some super chrome powder coat on them. I'm super excited to see these things chromed and on the 700. I'm not too bothered about doing chrome plating versus the powder chrome, because obviously you get a better chrome out of chrome plating. But look at the car they're going on. They're going to be chrome enough for the 700, that's for sure. All right, guys, so I have sent the steel wheels off the 700 down to my friend Ashley's shop, Ameriswiss Powder Coating. I dropped them off yesterday, and they put them in their tank to chem strip overnight, and they're getting ready to take them out of the tank and then sandblast them with like a soft media just to get them prepped for powder. So we're here at Ameriswiss Powder Coating. We just took the steel wheels from the 700 out of the chem tank. They chem stripped all 4 wheels. The first 2 wheels are original 1960 Beetle wheels, and so those stripped real easily. The 2 rear wheels are new wheels I just bought, and so those had like a better paint with a better primer on them. So Johnny's putting it through the blast cabinet right now to finish them up basically and give them a good surface before they put the powder on them. This is a moderately cool day for them in here. It's only like 80 degrees outside. The oven bakes at like 400 or 500 degrees. I don't remember what you said it bakes at, but it's basically a gigantic sea container furnace in here. And when it's 90 or 100 degrees outside and they open that thing, yeah, no, I don't know. I always thought I wanted to own a powder coating business, but I don't know. I'd lose so much weight just from sweating out every day. I'm real excited about these wheels though. I can't wait to see them super chromed with a clear over them. Real excited. I think they're gonna pop, even though they're not chrome plated. just being powder coated chrome on the 700, they're gonna pop. They're gonna look amazing. So real excited about that. So the wheels are done. This is Monday morning, so this is over the weekend that Ashley was getting the wheels done. And so I'm headed over there right now to pick them up. After lunch today, I'm going to mount the tires back on them, get them on the car. So I didn't film anything at Ashley's shop when I got there to Ameriswiss Powder Coat. We got chit-chatting and talking, and yeah, I just ended up bunny trailing about different projects and whatnot, and I totally forgot to really take my camera in and film anything. But essentially just got there and picked the wheels up and came back here. So super happy with them. From a distance, they actually look like they would be chrome plated and not just chrome powder coated. So that's how good they look from a distance. We used the super chrome, and then she cleared them. So getting the tires mounted up on the 700 Steelies, and I've run into this problem when I first mounted the tires on the fronts. I'm running a 165/45 15 all around. The rears are 5.5, so the 165/45 mounts up, no problem. On the 4-inch wide wheel up front, these are 15/4. The 165 is technically too wide for the wheel, and it's having a hard time. First of all, it's really difficult to get the tire on the wheel because the tire is wider than the wheel itself. And I had to run this size tire because I didn't want a tall sidewall tire. I can get a narrower tire that would seat on this 4-inch wide wheel easily, but it's too tall of a sidewall. I really wanted a minimal tire all the way around on this car. Since the car is so small, the car had 12s on it originally. They were 12 by 3.5-inch wide wheels. So now I'm up to a 15 on that body. So there's not enough room up inside for anything larger. So this is what we're dealing with now. It's holding air. The bead of the tire is folded under, and it needs to be able to come out to seat. So you can see right here, you can tell that it hasn't popped all the way out yet. So I've got about 50 PSI in it right now. I might go up a little bit more and then set it outside in the sun and just see if the thing, you know, in the heat just ends up folding back out. That's how we got it to seat originally. We pulled out my father's propane space heater and just set it right in front of the wheel and tire and just let it cook for a little bit, and it ended up seating completely. So I'm sure it'll go, just might be a matter of time. Well, I got the tires all on. The fronts did end up fully seating. The first one, I put like, I don't know, 55, 60 PSI in it and so let it sit out here. It's not really a sunny day today, but it's warm. So let it just sit out here and just was hoping that last bit of bead on the tire would seat. Second one, I went a little bit more aggressive. I soaped the wheel pretty hard and put about 100 PSI to the tire real fast, and the thing just grenaded itself right on. So yeah, but everything's seated up. I'm gonna get them put on the car and get that thing aired down and take a look at how the car looks with chrome steelies on it. Well, the wheels are on, and it's completely changed the look of the car. I mean, completely. Same wheels, basically on the lug nuts right now, on the lug bolts. You'll notice I've got 2 lug bolts on each wheel drilled and tapped with a machine screw in them, and that's actually how I mount the custom hubcaps that I made to the wheel itself. So those machine screws hold the hubcap to the tapped and threaded lug bolts on each wheel. I don't have those on right now because I just wanted to get the full effect of the full wheel with the chrome powder coat on the car. But I'm super excited about this. Massive thank you to Ashley at Ameriswiss Powder Coating for all the help with getting these things powder coated. It's a super chrome with a clear over it. I'm eager to see how they wear and how they basically hold up to driving in the elements and all that. I mean, I don't drive the car in the winter, and I try not to get out in the rain with it. So we'll see how well they do over the summer and into the fall. But yeah, check out Ameriswiss Powder Coat on Instagram. I don't know if they allowed enough letters for the ing at the end, but Ameriswiss Powder Coat. And I'll have the Instagram in the description below. She's new at this and still running through with some trial and error. She hasn't been doing the super chrome long, so this was kind of like an experimental run for the super chrome on steel. So I'm kind of going to beta test that for her, field test it for her. And yeah, super excited about the look though. Really happy with how it looks. I'm going to take it for a spin, and that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time.